Hello, BookTube. As you can see, I am up in Vermont. You will hear background noise. You can see background light. The one thing you can't experience through the wonder of the internet is the balmy Vermont temperatures. It is the weather forecast for Boston for this coming weekend and week were chilly. That is not a word that could apply to Vermont this coming weekend and week. Chilly is not. Chilly would be a Hawaiian vacation compared to what's coming. It's brutal, brutally cold, but it's always nice to come up here. And believe it or not, I have mail. Just as I was going out the door this morning to come here, I realized that the mail was there. So I've got some things to go through, including a periodical, the New York Review of Books. I got the New York Review of Books. And the thing that I noticed about this going through, I noticed two things going through this issue. I haven't read any of the articles yet, but the first thing I noticed was the table of contents is full of titans. It's full of gigantic people, including Calm Tobin writes about the latest Richardson biography volume of Picasso. But the thing that is most attractive to me is Peter Brown, who some of you might remember did a great biography of St. Augustine. And here he does a roundup review of a bunch of books on the Byzantine Empire. Roundup reviews are tricky, and they can either be death, by understatement, or they can be a great place for the author to just sort of expound on a subject. I'm hoping it's the latter, because Peter Brown is great. And the other thing I noticed in this issue, I haven't read anything, but the other thing I noticed in this issue was this. At the Morgan Library, the museum, the Morgan Library Museum in New York City, they're having a Hans Holbein exhibit. Holbein Capturing Character. Goes from February 11th to May 15th. And I winced a little when I saw that, because I would really like to see that exhibit. So the first thought I had was, oh, boy, I'd love to see that. That would be great, to walk around there and see what they have and how they've arranged it. But the second thought I had was, Holbein Capturing Character? Is there a book? If there's a book, well, that would be the next best thing to the exhibit. And I'm going to check first thing on Monday, see if there's a book. I'll beat the bushes for it. If there is a book, a companion to this exhibit, I'd really like somebody to send it to me so that I could write about it. It's been a while since I wrote about Hans Holbein. Then we have a couple of packages to open, but there's also a book that I got at ALLLL's. We went to ALLLL's, of course. We made a pilgrimage to ALLLL's. I didn't know it existed before it decamped only a few minutes from here. But they're great. It's a big warehouse of cheap stuff. Clothing, food, household implements, furniture, anything you could name. And also a big book section. And ordinarily, when I go to ALLLL's with Mark and with the Richardson family, ordinarily when I go there, I get at least one book. And I found a book today that I'm going to open for you on camera. It's this. It's a Macmillan commemorative big gift book of the Jungle Books by Rudyard Kipling, and it's got all sorts of original Macmillan illustrations that were, oh God. Okay, well, I'm not going to open this on camera because it's wedged shut. But you can see what it looks like there. You've got color illustrations, line illustrations. You've got the gilded pages there, the built-in bookmark. Oh, wow. This is the very first time in years of coming up here where I'm grateful when Mark waves a knife at me. How wonderful. Usually that goes very differently. Okay, we can actually see this. Let's see what this looks like together. Huh? We'll get the wrapping off there. We'll get the paper out of there. You've got the die-cut cover there. It opens onto that. Very nice. There you have the Sione wolf pack. And there's Baloo the bear. And Ka, the rock python. So this has the first and second Jungle Books, and also Okay, well, this thing seems to say that it has the Just So stories. This little Macmillan blurb there says the Just So stories, but I don't see them in here. But that's all right, because Heresy of Heresies, I don't like them all that much. They're nothing compared to this has all the original spot illustrations. Fantastic. But it also has later color illustrations. Very famous color illustrator. Look at that. Very nice. Oh, this is lovely. And I mentioned when I do, there's Mowgli on Council Rock. I mentioned when I do library tours that one of the big appeals to me is to get a quintessentially beautiful version, a version that I'm going to want. And as soon as I saw this, I realized that's what it was. That's what I wanted. So there we have one book for the Seed Pyramid. Now we'll do these other two. Both of these are in these air-pressed packages. First one's a Penguin Class. Great. Oh, fantastic. Okay, I was talking with the publicist about this. This is ALLLL. This is the New Negro aesthetic. It's a selected writings of ALLLL, the great-grandfather of the Harlem Renaissance. And it's got an introduction, as you can see it there, by Jeffrey Stewart, who wrote a brilliant biography of ALLLL just a couple of years ago. I reviewed it for the Christian Science Monitor, praised it to the skies, loved it. I was recommending it to all kinds of critics, saying, don't let this slip by, write about this. And, you know, when I was reading that book, I was searching around in various internet repositories for some of his writing, some writings from the New Negro. And here they are in a Penguin Classic, long overdue, great to see, fantastic to see. I don't have a sheet on this, but I'm assuming it's a February release. And then we have the next package here, and it's heavy. It's probably a finished copy. Oh, yes. Oh, no. It's a finished copy. It's also a double. How anticlimactic. We've already seen this. I didn't believe it anymore the first time than I do the second time. This is by Michael Brooks, and it's called The Art of More, How Mathematics Created Civilization. Math and I don't get along, and this is, I think, a February release that I've just sort of let sit on the shelf. Although, now that I think about it, this might be late January. And if it is, then the timing is perfect. I will read it here while I'm up here. So some of you may have seen this before. This is a double. So a little bit anticlimactic. There won't be any more mail, just so that we're on the same page here. There won't be any more mail while Frida and I are up here. And we're planning on staying until the summer. So sounds like a pipe backed up. You get those sound effects all the time here. So there won't be any mail for a little while. So we've got a double of The Art of More. We've got a Penguin Classic to be celebrated. To have Locke's writings back in print in a beautiful volume with an introduction by the scholar who knows him best. That is great. Absolutely great. A worthy addition. And then this complete gift set Macmillan Jungle Book volume. Very, very nice. Full of artwork that I'm sure a lot of it I have not seen in ages. And certainly have never owned in a book. So there you go. Our last mail haul. There'll be plenty of other bookish stuff to talk about, though. Don't you worry. So I'll wrap this up for now. But I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.